Want to turn visitors into leads on autopilot? How do you build a high converting landing page? Today, we're creating a landing page in GoHighLevel for your lead magnet. We'll walk through landing page design, automating lead magnet delivery, and more. By the end of this video, you'll be all set up to start driving traffic to your new funnel and getting opt-ins. I'm Nick, and this is video 5 of my 10-part series on how to automate your coaching business with GoHighLevel. If you want to build along with me, grab your 30-day free trial by using the affiliate link down below. Let's get into it. Hey, welcome back. Great to see you again. Today we're looking at lead magnet landing pages. So we'll get into that right now, see what we're doing. So here's what we're going to cover. What is a lead magnet? Good question. A lot of people haven't heard of them. Very useful tool. Building a funnel / landing page. Same thing, different names. I guess a funnel has more steps to it. The landing page is just the start of the funnel. Form setup. If we have a lead magnet, if we have a landing page, we want a form to capture some details. Funnel settings and URL setup. We'll get into that later on. Might not make sense now. It will later, I promise. And automating delivery. So delivery of the lead magnet, getting that sent out straight away without you having to do anything at all. Okay, before we get into all of that though, follow me on YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn for more exclusive content like this. There will be links down below. You might even already be on YouTube, so click that subscribe button if you are. And share the course. Sharing is caring. Let your friends know about this course and the community. So quick warning, this is the most important video in the entire course. Watch the entire video, don't skip, don't fast forward. But a pro tip, you can watch the video on double speed to get through it a little bit quicker. Okay, so goals and outcomes for this video. So the intended outcomes. Landing page, you'll have a fully functional opt-in landing page. So it'll be ready to go, ready for you to send traffic to it, for leads to download your lead magnet, get some value off you, and you get their email address in return. And freebie delivery. So you'll have an automation to send your lead magnet on opt-in. So as soon as they opt in, they actually get the value. They get the freebie, they get the lead magnet, they're happy, you're happy, everyone's happy. So let's get started. What is a lead magnet? So a lead magnet is a client attraction tool. It's a valuable free resource that you offer to attract potential clients. So it's something that you give away for free, something that's valuable, something that's useful to them. And in return, you get their contact details. You get their name, their email address, maybe a bit more. Perfect example, this course is a lead magnet. So I'm giving you value right now, you the viewer, and in return, hopefully I get your details, your name, your email address, and I can continue to contact you, and maybe we do business one day. Maybe we don't. Most of the time we don't, but that's okay. Some of the time we do, and that's what works. So generate interest. Use a lead magnet to engage your target audience and provide value before they become paying clients. So it's proof in a way that you have value to provide. If you can give them something that piques their interest, that generates interest amongst your audience, it means that they'll be more likely to trust you later down the track and more likely to buy from you. It's a very, very valuable tool. It's a lead generation funnel. So the goal is to convert visitors into leads by offering something valuable in exchange for their contact information. So we've covered all of this here, but yes, lead with value, give value up front. Even if it feels like, oh, I should be charging for this. In fact, that's a really good leading indicator that your lead magnet is good and is valuable. It should also be something easy to digest. This course isn't maybe the best example. I should have something shorter as well, but something quick and easy that solves an immediate problem for them and in exchange for their contact information. Okay, so building a funnel. We'll get into high level very quickly here, but let's just go through a couple of key points. Okay, so we're going to use pre-built sections like headlines, text blocks, and images to quickly build your landing page. We need a compelling headline, so make sure your headline clearly states the value of your lead magnet. The headline is the first thing that they read. If it doesn't grab their attention, they're gone. So really need to put some work into that. Really think about it. Test a couple of different things. We won't really go into split testing here, but it is an option where you can have two different landing pages with two different headlines. See which one works better. And a thank you page. So after the client submits their information, redirect them to a thank you page to confirm that they've signed up. So it's a nice thing to do to say thank you to someone. It's also handy for when you have a fairly new email setup. Your emails might go to spam. So even just having that there as the thank you page, please check your spam folder. It may have gone there. It's also really nice to have a video there sometimes, get them to know, like, and trust you. And mobile optimization, a big one that a lot of people miss. We need to ensure that your landing page is fully optimized for mobile. I believe over 80% of internet usage nowadays is done via mobile. You're probably even watching this on a mobile device right now. Who knows? But yeah, make sure it is set up for mobile. So we'll have a look at it right now. Before we go into HighLevel, we'll just go into the plan here. Okay, so this is the client journey that we're setting up. This is the very simplified version. We've got our ad post or ad/post, our landing page, our lead magnet download, email nurture sequence, discovery call, one-off session, offer made for a 12-week program, onboarding and documents, 12-week programs, testimonial throughout that. Hopefully they like you enough to say something nice. If you like me enough, say something nice about me. And then resubscribe or continue, and then eventually the end. Because we can't work with people forever. We can try, but one way or another, it's going to end. So this is the overall plan of what we're working through, what we're building. But right now, we're just focused on the landing page and the lead magnet download. So if we scroll down a little bit, we can see here, this is the pipeline that we've built out. So I have changed this a little bit since I recorded the last video, but we can see here, new lead magnet sent. This is all that we're looking at now, is they become a lead and the lead magnet sent out to them. And then if we look at the client journey here, we've got from a post, they click the link, the page loads up, and we go to the landing page, and then they enter their details, complete the lead form, and they receive an email. So you can see on here, I've built links in so that when we click on any one of these that's highlighted like this, you'll have access to this, by the way. You should already have access to this Miro board. When you click on the link there, it will take you to the relevant part of the page. So what we want to look at on the landing page is some design tips here. So we've got a couple of details here. What we'll do, we'll start building this in HighLevel and we'll jump back and forth between the two. So we can see what we want to put and where to make sure it's a high converting landing page that a lot of people that land on it decide to opt in for the freebie. So I'll open up HighLevel. And as I'm bringing this up, if you don't already have HighLevel, you can click the link below to get a 30-day free trial. You can build along with me and we can put this together. So we'll go into sites. So this is, you should come in at your dashboard here. So it's all the same down the side here. So we'll just click into sites and it should be fairly empty. So yeah, we can see this here, nothing in there. Unless you join my paid community, then this will be full with a snapshot that I'm actually building out right now. This is it, live build of what will be in the snapshot. So we click on new funnel. Now you can use a template. Let's just have a look at those quickly. Check out some of the templates. And there's a lot of different options here. So you can just start with one of these and you can see plenty of options to use. So you can start with one of those. You can even have a look and see if you can narrow it down for the sort of thing that you'd like. Lead capture or free resource and download. So any of these is probably good to start with if you like, or we can build from scratch. So that's what I'm going to do now. We'll build from scratch and we'll say lead magnet is the name of our funnel. Okay, here we go. So we're going to add a new step and import. Before we do that, we'll just go through here. We've got our stats. This will be valuable later on because we'll be able to see how many people have hit the page, how many have opted in. Sales and earnings won't be so relevant because this is a free resource. Same with the sales figures here, not super useful. Security, so you can add security headers if you like. Events, so if you want to track events and send it to Meta with your pixel, that's also very useful. I highly recommend if you plan on running ads at any point in the future, start feeding it data straight away. And then we've got some settings here. So we'll come back to this later as well. But yes, steps, we'll add a new step. So we're just going to call this one landing. Now, generally you'd want to call this the name of your lead magnet. I'm just not creative enough to think of one right now. So it's just going to be called our landing page. Now, if you have ClickFunnels, you can just import directly over, but I don't have ClickFunnels, I never had. So I'm just going to create a new funnel step now. All right, so it's all set up. We're going to create from blank here. If you have any existing landing pages, you can just click use existing. So when you want to duplicate something really easily, copy it over, change the headline, nice and simple, but we're going to create from blank. Now, while that's loading up, let's just have a look at what we want to put in here. So a couple of notes here, no navigation bar. So you might be used to a website where it has all of the different options along the top, like the about page, contact us, all of that. We don't want that in a funnel, in a landing page. We want a singular goal, which is the form to opt in and download the lead magnet. So we don't want them being able to click away to anywhere else. Now, we also want a big headline, a big idea, transformation and results. And we want this to be emotional. So let's have a look. Let's try and create something here. Now, we've got here sections, rows, and elements. So I'm going to start with a template, a pre-built section. So if I click on pre-built sections here, you can see this is all ready to go. So let's have a look at what we want. Call to action will be useful later. Let's do a welcome. Let's do this one here. All right, so I'm just going to put that in. Okay, so we've got our main headline, not our mail headline, and then a sub headline, a button here for a call to action, and an image. So this is pretty much perfect. I might get rid of this. We don't really want an email there. And you can see here, we've got here add element, column, and a section up here in green. So we'll get into what those mean a bit later. Now we'd want to put a logo here. I'm going to leave this one as funnel blocks. I'm going to leave that element blank. I'm going to get rid of this sub headline. And this is all personal preference. We've got our main headline here. So what we want in this case, what does your lead magnet do? What transformation does it create? So let's say save 6 hours a week. No, we want to be more emotional than that. So spend more time with your family and less time working. All right, so something, I'm not the best copywriter in the world, but this is something emotional, something that shows a transformation there. And it doesn't really say how. That's the important thing. We're just pitching the idea. We're selling the vacation, not the plane flight. So it's just a simple idea there, something emotional. Yes, I do want to spend more time with my family and less time working. And then below that, we've got the sub headline, which is the how, the thing, the logical part. So we're going to say, automate your coaching business. My spelling is not the best. With these Zapier templates. Okay, so we'll set that up now. So yeah, we can see we've already got a big idea, a transformation from someone spending more time with their family and less time working instead of more time working and less time with their family. And how are we going to do it? So we've already answered 2 big questions here. Why do I want this and how does it work? So they're very simple, they're very quick. The next thing we want to do is include an image. So we've got this nice big space here for an image. Now what we want here, not an image of you. I'm sure you're very pretty and we all want to see you. I know I am. I like to put my picture around the place. That sounded vain, didn't it? Anyway, we want to put a picture of them. This is called the hero section. And despite what we think, we're not the hero. They are the hero of our story. They are the hero of their story. So we want to see them or a stand-in for them. Best thing you can do here is have an image of someone having success with your lead magnet, with your item, depending on what it is. If it's a free session, that's harder to do. But let's say it's a PDF, it's a checklist, something like that. If you can get a mock-up of that on a screen with someone happy using it, that's fantastic. You can use animations here. Let's see if I can put something in here. We might even be able to have a look at, so this is where we'd load it up. I probably should have shown, we just sort of changed the text here. You can play around with the colors in here. We can do some animations. So we can have it flip. Is it going to show me this? No, it's not. I might have to preview it. But have it come in, bounce in, slide in, whatever we like there when the page loads. We can also add some extra details in here, like put a shadow around it. Like that, you might be able to see there. So there's a lot of cosmetic stuff that you can do in here that we don't really want to focus on too much now. You definitely want it to look good though when it's done. So let's have a look at an image. Now what I want to do here, if I can, let's test out the AI. All right, so I don't have a lot of images in here at the moment. Let's create something. So we've got this little AI button here. This is a content AI. So let's have a look. Coach. Okay, let's get a couple of variations. Let's get 4. And I'm going to make it in an animated style. So you've got a bunch of different styles here. Now, this is just a test. I'm not sure how good this will come out as. I've given it a very, very simple prompt, but it's generating now. We'll see what it looks like. Okay, it has taken things a bit too literally. It's taken a coach to mean a bus, but that's all right. We don't always get it right on the first try. I'm going to put one of these in. Why not? Let's try again. Let's be... All right, a happy person using a computer. Let's go for 4 variations. We'll do something dreamlike. We'll see if it figures it out this time. Okay, here we go. This is a bit better than our pictures of a bus. Interesting. Let's go with this guy. He looks pretty happy. Okay, we'll go into the Content AI folder. And we will put that in. So stock images, AI images, if you want, whatever you want to use here, just make sure it's something positive and it's something that where the customer can put themselves in those shoes. So yeah, interesting choice here. He looks like he's pretty happy spending more time working and less time with his family, but it's just an example. So we'll move on to the next step, which is the CTA, the button. So on the button, we want to make sure the text is clear about what you will get, what will happen, and we want to phrase as me. So we could say get instant access. That's not really what we want to say here. We want to phrase it on their side of things. So I'm going over here and we have text options. So we're going to say, send me the templates. So it's first person there, send me the templates. It's going to capitalize those. And then we're going to put in some subtext. So what we want to do here is have something very simple. And this is just to help on a psychological standpoint, make them feel a bit safer. Because everyone feels a bit worried about getting spam when they're putting in their name and email address. We all hate it, no one likes it, and I'm not going to recommend that you spam people. We will send them emails, but not in a spammy style. But yeah, something here to let them know that their information is safe with us. So we'll do subtext there. So send me the templates. We'll never share your info. Now this button, it looks a bit bland at the moment. It has a nice little animation there, which is cool. But let's see what we can do with it. Let's change some color. I thought I'd update my brand colors and I haven't. So we've got primary, secondary, white. So all these different basic colors here. You can add a custom color as well. So didn't find your color, add a custom one. And you can just click on this button here, find something. So you can move to the different shades here, and then the different colors along here. Sort of pick out what you like. You've even got a transparency option here. There's an eyedropper function here, but it doesn't seem to work. And you can pick out a couple of different things here. So whatever you like the look of. Okay, we're going to add that in, and that's now a custom color. It's a nice salmon-y color. Yeah, it doesn't particularly look good with the blue up here and this over here. I might switch it back to a bluish color. But yeah, so this is nice and clear. It's very basic at the moment. This is just everything that's above the fold. So we can see that it's all looking good. I'd probably change the logo there again. I'd change this. No, I'll keep this. This is all right. But this in itself could be enough. Now, I'm not going to recommend that we stop here, but this is a landing page. It's functional. We haven't built the form yet. We haven't put that in, but I'm going to save it. Okay, we'll come back to that later. Saving that now. Okay, we've got the button set up here. The next thing we want to do when we're looking at buttons is what action are they going to take? So we've got it set to open pop-up as a default, and that's probably what we want to use. We can also send them to a website URL. We can hide and show elements. We can scroll to a specific element. We can move to a different step in the funnel or the next step. We can add a one-click up or down sell product. We're not going to worry about that. Call, SMS, email address, membership. None of these, we're not going to worry about any of them right now. We're going to look at open pop-up, which is the default. And that's where we're going to have our form. Our form will be in the pop-up itself. So if we click on pop-up settings here, we can see this is where the form goes. Now, we're going to come back to that because we haven't built a form yet. But before we do anything else, we're going to build this out a little bit further. So if we go back here, after the CTA, we want to have a bit of mini social proof if you have it. So this is reviews, number of people you helped, anything like that you can add there to make them trust you. So let's just add something in right here, right below. We're going to add a little another, let's add it here. So we can put in the individual elements there. I've got a lot of different options here. So if you have reviews connected in HighLevel already, you can put those in. I think I'm just going to put a little bit of text. So we're just going to use paragraph. And we're going to say over 12 people helped. So that's there. Now it doesn't quite align with this button. I'm just going to look at moving this over. I don't know why that's on the left there. We kind of want that in the middle. Okay, let's have a look at how we can change that. There's a lot of different things that you can do with buttons. There we go. So the button's in the middle now. All right, so some very mini social proof underneath. Now I might make that, it's a bit close in there. So let's add some padding. We will make that a bit further down. Okay, so down here we've got margin and padding. So we want to add either margin or padding would work in this instance, I think. So 40 is a bit too much. Maybe just 10 there. We'll do 10 either side as well. All right. Yeah, so now when someone looks at this, they can see, yes, we want the templates. It'll never share my info. That's good. And they've helped over 12 people. Awesome. Okay. Moving along. So we've got our mini social proof. Now we want a couple of different things here. We want benefits. So show them what are the benefits of using this lead magnet. Why should they care? As well as some icons and some images. So why do they want this? What's it going to do for them? So we're going to add a new section in. We're not going to use a pre-built this time. We're going to start from scratch. So sections, inside sections are rows, inside rows are elements. So we're going to create a full width section down below here. And then we can just click into add row. We're going to add 3 columns in our row. And then in each column, we're going to add a couple of elements. So we're going to create a little headline. And then a bullet list. And maybe even above the headline, we want to put a little picture. We want an icon. Yeah, we'll put in an image there. Now I'm just going to move this headline down below. So I'm just going to click this down button. Now it's below. Now with this image, it's a bit big for what I want. Let's see if we can resize it. Oh, that's far too small. Go somewhere in the middle. It's a bit of guesswork sometimes. So we can add an image in there. Now again, I don't have one. Let's have a look at a stock image. Okay. That looks good. We'll use this. So yeah, we can use Pixabay and Unsplash to get some images there. So I go back to my media library. Should be there. Yeah, here it is. Okay, so we've got an image here, a headline where we can talk about what the benefit is, and some details below about why they want it. So what's the benefit? Save time. You can do other things instead. So very basically, we'd want the same sort of layout for each one of these. I might just copy this. I'll clone it. So we have, oops, that's not what I wanted to clone. That's all right. It can be a bit difficult sometimes. All right, so we want to clone that. And again. And I'm just going to delete these two here. All right, so 3 benefits that we have here with a little headline of what the benefit is, a couple of bullet points about how it actually helps them, and yeah, some icons and images there. So a couple of benefits there, make it clear to them why they would want it. Right. Moving down, we want more social proof and testimonials. So again, we can really copy out the same thing here. So let's duplicate that entirely. Let's clone this section. And in this instance here, we'd have images of people's faces, of people that you've helped. We can also have a look at getting some, let's see if we've got some pre-built sections here for testimonials. We should do. So we can just copy one of these as well. So we can just throw this in there. What others are saying. So loved everything so far. My life changed forever. Highly recommend this. So this is a perfect little testimonial box there. So if you have testimonials, we can put that in. We'll get rid of what I've just set up because this looks a lot nicer. Pre-built sections often do. And we've got a button there again. Now, do we want the button yet? I don't think we do. Yeah, so we've got the rule of 3 here. So you can see we've used that twice. We've got 3 benefits. We've got 3 testimonials. Make it clear and easy for everyone to look at. And we will move on to FAQs. So this is where we want to handle objections in any FAQs. So we'll create a new section. Let's look at pre-built again. FAQs, they already have one ready to go. We'll use the darker one this time. Okay, so yeah, frequently asked questions. So in here, we've got some list items. So over on the right, you can see as we click into it, it opens up on each one. I've got a couple of different options as to how we want it set up. Keep it separated. We can add new ones in, and we can edit each one. So we can only edit them as they're open. So can I lorem ipsum when I buy? Yes, you can. So can I get results? So if we move into other areas, you'll see it'll let me edit the question here, but I can't edit the answer. I need to go into the list item over here so the answer's open. and then I can edit that. I'll undo those. Oh, well, let me undo that. So I'm just going to copy and paste that as question 2. And we've got a button here again. Now we're going to get rid of this button because we don't need it up here. But after the frequently asked questions is probably a good place to have it. This is where we've handled all their objections. So this is anything they might ask about the lead magnet, any thoughts that they might have. Answer those questions here to any objections that they have. Is it going to be easy to use? Will it take me a lot of time to use this? Does this really work? What if I don't like it? Those sorts of things. Will it work for me? So those are the sorts of questions we want to answer here. Then we've got our button again below. So in this case, we just want to copy and paste the button from above. So I'm just going to go up and take it, see if we can clone that, and then move it. Yeah, so it's not always great with the dragging. It likes to stay inside the screen. Maybe if I just zoom out a lot. There we go, that makes it easier. All right, so we've got the same button down there at the bottom. So this is our landing page. So it's all set up and ready to go. Something we haven't looked at yet is mobile optimization. So I'll just zoom back in. And you can see up the top here, we're in desktop mode. Let's look at see what it looks like on the mobile. Okay, so it's actually looking all right. What we can do, so this blank spot here, we don't really want that. We can hide that from the mobile. So if we go into advanced here, we've got visibility. We can just turn that off. So it'll stay on the main page here. On the mobile though, we won't see it. We can also play around with some padding. So there's a big gap underneath there. I'm going to change that to 0. So you can see it's closed that gap. And this is only on the mobile. On the desktop, it remains the same. We've still got a nice open space there. But we're just in the mobile at the moment. These are all looking all right. It's all looking pretty good. But it's always worth checking this out to make sure that it all looks nice on here as well as on the desktop. Okay, so our landing page is set up. It's looking all right. It's looking pretty good. Why don't we preview it? If we can, will it let us? Yeah, so this is what our landing page looks like. So we've got a nice big title here, a subheading with what it's about, buttons, pictures, some benefits here, some benefits listed, some testimonials, some social proof, some FAQs, and another button down the bottom here. Now when we click the button, it's not going to do anything just yet because we need a form. We need a pop-up form. We need a way for them to fill in their details. So let's have a look at that. Let's go to the next page. Form setup. I was way ahead of you. That's where we're going next. We're setting up a form to capture their details. So, essential fields. We want to create a form with basic fields like name and email address. Keep it simple to encourage signups. So there's a simple rule, which is the more questions you ask on a form, the less likely someone is to complete it. So to bring in leads, we want to just get their first name and email address. Now this depends on how much you want to qualify as high intent buyers. If you ask for a full name, email address, phone number, and address, like home address, that person, if they fill that out, are probably more likely to buy from you than someone who only puts in a name and email address and is unwilling to fill that out. So it's a bit of a trade-off, but I recommend, especially if they're just getting to know you, they're very early in the client journey, they're only just aware of you. Keep it simple, first name, email address, nothing else. No need to ask for it. Legal compliance. So add a checkbox for terms and conditions and a privacy policy to ensure compliance with data protection laws. This is an important one. Hopefully you already have your privacy policy and terms and conditions. If you don't, I'll include a link below for Termageddon. That's what I use. It keeps it all up to date, and you can just add that, link it in, tick the boxes as to what you need as far as your requirements are for privacy. Very intuitive, very easy to use, highly recommend. But I'm not a lawyer, so maybe talk to one as well. I'll just put that in there as a little disclaimer. and CTA triggered pop-up. So the pop-up form will appear when the visitor clicks on the call to action button, e.g. get my free guide or access now. So as we just had a look when we're building out that landing page, when someone clicks that button, it will pop up with the form. All right, so let's get into building it. So forms are very easy. So we'll get back out of here. So we will save, always save. It doesn't auto-save when you're building, so please make sure you click it every time. Get into the habit of it, otherwise you might lose what you're working on. So we'll go back. Now we'll stay in this site section. You can see we've got a lot of different options along the top here. So we want to look at forms and we want to go to builder. Okay, so you can add a folder if you like for this. We may not have too many forms though. We want to keep it simple. So we'll just click add form. Okay, so we're going to change the name on this to lead magnet form. And you can see it's come up with a couple of details here already. We've got first name, last name, phone number, email, consent checkbox, button, privacy policy, terms of service. So what we're going to do is start by getting rid of some of this. So we don't want the last name. We don't need it. We don't want the phone number. We don't need it. We just want the first name and email address. All right, so we've got that there. Now you can see there's a little star here saying that the email address is mandatory, but not on the first name. So let's change that. We want that to be required. And you can see we've got some details here, like first name placeholder is this little section here. Say it's John. And short label, we can add this here if you like. Your first name. And then email, again, we can change the placeholder. So johndoe@gmail.com and give them a bit of an idea. Your email address. These aren't mandatory. You can just leave it blank as it was. It's just to show you the functionality here of what we've got going on there. Now we have the terms and conditions. Now this is talking about SMS. We can just say here, I consent to the terms and conditions. Or maybe the privacy policy. And what I'd recommend doing in here, even though we have it down below, we might actually remove that and keep it simple, is we can create a hyperlink in here. So if we highlight that and click these three dots down here, we've got a link option, and then we can link to your website .com / T's and C's. That doesn't seem right. So terms and conditions. So your URL there for your terms and conditions. So we'll just confirm that, and you see we've got a nice little link there. That looks a bit weird in green, so I'm going to change that to a more bluish color. That's a bit purple. Let's go more blue. And then we can get rid of these. And we have another button here, so we want another call to action. So we'll say, send me my templates. And we can do the subtext here as well. It might be a bit overkill to have it twice saying we're not going to share your information. If you say something too many times, people get confused or concerned that it's the opposite. If I keep saying I'm not going to spam you, I'm not going to spam you, and remember, I'm not going to spam you, you start to think actually he probably is. So we'll save that here. We might change that to a nicer blue color as well. There we go. Align this with whatever you have on your page. So that same color, see if we have it in there as a, no, we don't. You probably need to copy the hex code there to get it exactly the same. And you can play around with some things here. You can tweak the text, padding, full width, whatever you want. We can make that smaller. Yeah, there we go. So we can play around with it, make it look however you like. All right, we'll save that here. Yeah, so that's saved. We'll go back to our funnel and we'll add that in. So back to funnels, back to lead magnet, back to our landing page. Edit that. And in the pop-up settings, we'll add a row. So we just need the one there. We'll add an element, and that element will be a form. It's right here. I was going to search for it. And then we select our form. So we'll go lead magnet form. And there it is. So that's all set up. We'll save that now. Okay, and as we go through, if we were to click on this, so let's see if we can preview it again, if it actually works. Yeah, so as I click on that, it brings up the form. You can even add some different things in the pop-up there. So maybe a logo up the top here, because it looks a bit barren, it looks a bit bare, but it's functional, it works, and the same down the bottom here. So that pops up. So this is all ready to go. Something that we didn't include yet, and we should, is a thank you page. So once the pop-up form is completed, let's go back to it. We didn't tell it what to do once they click this button. So it says use action from form builder over here. So this is whatever we told it to do on the form builder where we didn't tell it to do anything. It will do that. Instead, we just want to go to next step. So this is the next step of the funnel, which we haven't created yet. We'll create that now. We'll create that very, very quickly. Once it's saved. Yeah, so we'll go back out of here. So we've only got the one page, the landing page. We need a thank you page. So we'll just quickly go back. I don't know what I saved there, or what I changed. Saving that again, always want to be sure. Okay. So we want to add a new step. And we'll call this thank you. Okay, so we've got our thank you page here. Now you can, we'll use existing, we'll use the landing page to keep our sort of style there. So we'll choose our lead magnet funnel. We will choose our landing page. And you can see it brought that up here. We'll import that. All right, so it's an exact clone. It's completely the same. We don't want the same. We want something very simple. Okay, so we're going to ruthlessly delete some stuff here because all we really want is a headline and a subheadline and probably your logo up the top. So we're going to delete this entire column. We're going to delete this button. We're going to delete this. And then we'll get rid of all of these sections down below here. So we can just delete, delete, delete. Now you can add some more stuff underneath. What you might want to do here is maybe have your socials, that sort of thing. But we'll just say, thank you for downloading the templates. And you will receive an email shortly. Please check your spam folder, because that does happen. I'm going to change these a little bit and have them more centered. So we're just saying thank you. We're telling them what's going to happen next. I'm going to enter there, so it's on a different line. And you can put some more information here. So whatever you want to put in, maybe a bit about you. Maybe you can have a different call to action here. Maybe book in a call with you for those that are looking for fast action. Or as I said, we can put in some social information. So we have some pre-built sections here, maybe even a section template. No, social media icons. So we can put these down the bottom here. We can then fill in all of your social details so that someone can follow you immediately. They can check you out on the different platforms, find out a bit more about you. But we want to keep it fairly simple here. Whatever you like, anything that you'd like them to direct them to next, other than the email. Ideally, we just want them to go check their email and check that out. But a little video here, a little thank you, a bit about yourself is a good way to go, or direct them to socials. All right, so that is all set up. Let's have a look at what's next. You might have seen this popping up a bit, and that's just a little hint about what is next. Okay, so funnel settings and URL setup. So domain setup. So we want to set the custom URL path for your funnel. Choose a short descriptive URL like /free guide that's easy to remember and share. Favicon and metadata. So add a favicon, which is a small logo in the browser tab, like this one here for Miro, the little logo there. You can see it doesn't have it right now. So it's just sort of blank space there. Oh, we've got the Apple symbol over here. We want to have something in there. We want a meta description and keywords for SEO and for sharing. And global sections. So you can use global sections for consistency across all of your funnels, like a global footer with links to your privacy policy, terms, and social media. So as we were looking at that social setup, let's go back. We'll have a look on the landing page first, and we'll come back. Okay, so domain setup. We'll go back to publishing. So on the funnel here, we went through all of these. We haven't looked at these yet. So we've got products here. Products aren't relevant because we're not selling anything on this particular page. And we've got publishing. So we've got that set up as landing. So you might want to change that to templates. So we'll update that there. And we need to integrate a URL here. We haven't done that yet. Once that's updated, so in settings, we can select our domain. So we can pick that out here. There we go. Now we've got our favicon URL. So we want to put that in here. Now to find that, I'm just going to close these tabs. If you've created a favicon, and if you've already uploaded it into your media library, I'm just going to duplicate the tab so we don't have to jump back and forth. And we just need to find that in the media library and grab the link. Okay, so media storage. You may remember it from before. I've got my favicon there. So I'm just going to click on this and get the link. Then back here, we're going to paste that in. All right, and we will save that down the bottom here. You'll see we've got a couple of different details here. Payment mode. Yeah, payment mode, not relevant. Credit card, not relevant. JavaScript and image optimization. Yes, we want to have those turned on. GDPR compliant fonts, up to you. I'm going to turn it on. It depends where you're doing business. You may or may not need it. Europe, I believe. And then we've got some tracking codes in here as well. Google tags, Facebook pixel, any of that you want to include, you'd include that in here. But we're not going to work with that right now. All right, so that's all set up. If we go back, let's have a look. Yeah, you'll see this is all set up. I wonder, let's see. We'll go to that page. I think it might be live. Yeah, so if you go to that website, oh, it's popped up straight away there. I might just check that. But if you go to that website, nickjgibson.com/templates, you can see this live. Hopefully I've tweaked it a bit, made it look a bit nicer. But that is all set up there. Now, that pop-up form came up straight away. So I'm going to go into the settings here. And just have a look at our pop-up options. So, pop-up settings. Okay, so in the pop-up settings there, to make sure it doesn't pop up right at the start, we just want to have it as show pop-up on none. We want to have the disable pop-up turned off. We want it enabled. But yeah, we don't want it as anything else here. So we don't want it on delay or exit. So just none and disable pop-up and close window by clicking outside. This one, up to you whether you want it there or not. That simply means that when we click on this, I can just click anywhere and it goes away, as opposed to having to click on this X button. So maybe we want that off. We don't want them to accidentally lose it. So we'll turn that off as well. All right, so that's the pop-up all set up. When they fill that in, it'll go through to the landing page, to the thank you page. Let's test it out. I'll consent to the terms and conditions. Send me my templates, please. And there we go. Thank you for downloading the templates. You'll receive an email shortly. Please check your spam folder. Now, it hasn't sent me an email yet. So we'll come back to that, sending it out, because we're not done here yet. We need to do some stuff with the SEO metadata. So it sounds complicated. It's not. All right, so we just want to have a look at here. So you've seen this come up a couple of times when we've tried to save it. It likes to do that. If we just click this button here, this is our SEO preview. So if we share the link, this is all it's going to show. And we don't want that. We want a bit more. So we're going to put in a title, call it Nick's Awesome Zapier Templates. We're going to put a description. These are Zapier templates for coaches. Now we can put in some keywords here for SEO. Highly recommend doing this. So we'll go Zapier, automation, coaching. Do some research on SEMrush, find the best keywords, put those in. We can have an author, so that's me. This just helps people find it. It's all SEO, search engine optimization. It makes it easier for someone to find this on Google. And a social image is a good one to have as well. So this just means when you share it, it will come up with an image rather than a blank screen. So we'll put that in. Yeah, so that's it. So you can see up the top a little preview. So if I was to share this on Facebook, this is what would show up. Now it's got a couple of numbers there after the landing page. We don't want that, but we'll clear that up in a moment. And then we've got links and tags. We can add meta tags. We can add canonical links. Language, so that's English, unless you're speaking something else. We'll make it English Australia because that's what I'm speaking. And that's all updated. All right, we will save. We'll publish. And we'll have a look at the thank you page as well. So we can do all the same for the thank you page. I'm not going to do that right now. What I wanted to look at here though was these. So we're going to turn this into a global section. So I'm going to add an element here. We're going to add a global section. There are no global sections, so we have to create one. So I'm going to create one down here, brand new section, just one column, and it will just be our links, our social links. Yeah, so that's in there. So what a global section is it will stay the same everywhere. It's global. So if you change it in one place, it changes everywhere. So with your social media links, if we put these in here, so we'll add facebook.com/upinsights, save that, we'll update that. Now, if I go into a different page and add these links, that will stay the same because we're going to turn this into a global section, and we haven't actually done that yet. So let's do that. So to save this as a global section, we just go to click on Save down the bottom here, or sorry, up the bottom of the top left. We click on Save Section. We will name it Social Links, and we will add that to our global sections. And we'll click Save. And now anytime we want to put this in, we just go into Global Sections, Social Links, it's ready to go. We can drop it in. And if we change it in one place, it changes everywhere. So if we decide we want to get rid of X, change that here. Yes, delete it. I'll show you as an example. Let's just save this here. Put it on the landing page as well after it's saved. Yeah, we'll put that in here. And you can see X is gone there as well. And if I go and delete TikTok off here, because I don't have a TikTok, maybe I will one day. TikTok is deleted there. We'll save that. And then maybe even publish it. So if we go back to the thank you page here, you can see X and TikTok are still there. But if we refresh, this is going to look a little bit different. There we go. We can now see live here that those are not there. So we've got just our Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube, which is incidentally what I have. So that's all set up there. So anytime we change that anywhere, it will change everywhere, which is very, very useful. Okay, so we are all set. Now let's go back here because we've set everything up except for one little critical thing, which is actually sending the lead magnet. So we need to automate delivery. So in automating delivery, we want an email workflow. So we'll create a simple email workflow that triggers once the form is submitted and delivers the lead magnet. So as soon as they put in their name and email address and click that button, an email is coming straight to them with the lead magnet, with the freebie, with that value that you want to send to them. That's instant gratification. So we set up the email to send immediately after form submission so they get instant access to the resource. And we'll create an opportunity. So once the lead submits the form, we'll add them to our pipeline, which we created in the previous lesson, as a potential client for future follow-up. All right, so let's get into that now. We've got a live run-through, which we've been doing the whole time, but let's do a live run-through of just this little part. Okay, so we'll go back to our Miro board quickly, and we'll see what we've got here. So if we go back to our main journey, we've got complete lead form, and this is the form action. So when they complete the lead form, we're going to tag them as a lead. We're going to create a new opportunity as lead magnet sent. We're going to email them with the lead magnet. We're also going to do an internal notification letting you know that they've downloaded it. We're going to wait for 24 hours. We're going to see, have they opened the email? If not, we're going to send it again. If they have opened the email, we're going to see if they've clicked the link. And if they haven't, that should be a no there. If they haven't, we'll send a follow-up email. Then we'll add the tag lead magnet delivered if they have, and we wait 1 day if they haven't, and then we add to the nurture sequence. So the point of this here is to deliver the lead magnet and make sure that they get it. So if it hasn't been opened, we're going to send it again just to prompt them to open it. If they have opened it, but they haven't clicked on the link and downloaded it, we want to find out why not. They've gone to the trouble of asking for it, but they haven't taken advantage. So we want to know there what's going on. And we're going to add a tag to them just so that we know that it has been delivered, that they have opened the email, clicked the link, and actually got it, as opposed to those that haven't. So let's move right along. We'll start building all this out in automations. So back we go. Now, the first thing that we're going to do before we actually build an automation is create something called a trigger link. So when we mentioned in this step here further down, have they clicked the link? You might have seen this here. We want to know on a specific link, have they clicked it or not? So in marketing, we'll go to trigger links, and we're just going to add a new link here. We're going to call it lead magnet link, and we'll enter the URL. So whatever URL they'll be downloading it from, whether that's from your Google Drive, if it makes a copy, or if it's a link to a video, whatever it might be, I'm going to send it to Google. Okay, so we'll save that. We'll see that link's generated here. Okay, so we'll use that in a moment. Let's build an automation. Okay, so we're going to create workflow. We're going to start from scratch. We don't need a recipe for this one. It's fairly easy. It's fairly straightforward. We're actually going to build 2 workflows, I think. So we're going to do lead magnet delivery. That's fine. Multiple opportunities is available by default. Okay, so we're going to add a trigger. So the trigger we're going to add here is form submitted. Okay, so when they submit a form, it's going to trigger this workflow. Now, we need to add a filter on here because it will trigger for any form, and we don't want that. As we create more forms, we want to have those separated. So, form is lead magnet form. It's the only one at the moment, but this will save us trouble down the road. Okay, and we're going to rename this a little bit, just so it's easier for us to see. Okay, and I might switch back and forth between our Miro board so I do this in the right order. Okay, so after we do that, we want to add a tag as lead. So we'll go tag, add contact tag, lead. So we'll add a new tag there. Go back and select it. I'll save that. So we'll save as we go. Okay, then I think next we want to create an opportunity here. So we'll create or update an opportunity. We'll select our pipeline. So that's in the leads pipeline, and in the stage, new lead. Okay, so let's set that up. Now the opportunity name here, we just want the contact name. We don't really have to put anything else in. We can put in a source as a lead form. And we can assign a value here. So depending on how much each lead is potentially worth, maybe they're worth $2,000 if they decide to sign up with you for their coaching package down the line. Or you can leave that as 0 for now and maybe start assigning value as they get further down the pipeline. But let's take it out. We'll leave it at 0. And the status, we're going to leave that alone because the status is just open. So that's the default. Let's create it. Let's put it in there just for fun. Okay. So then next we want to send an email with the lead magnet. So we're going to do an email. Send email. Okay. Email with lead magnet. Subject, here's your template. And we'll put in the contact name, make it more likely for them to open it up. Contact first name. Hey, here are your templates. And we're going to use the trigger link that we just set up a moment ago. So we're going to say link here. We're going to click this little lightning bolt, and we've got the trigger link, lead magnet link. It looks like this, but don't worry, it's a real link. But we need to turn it into a hyperlink. If we just click and send it like that, it will just show as text. So I'm going to cut that. I'm going to select this here and click this add link button. And then we're going to put the link in the URL there. So we've got the trigger link. We're going to have that open as a new window. And I might just change the text there. Let's see, hopefully this doesn't do anything bad. Templates, all right. Okay, so you can put a bit more into that, but I'm keeping it simple here. I'm keeping it very, very simple. Okay, and now we're going to create an internal notification. So we're going to send an email or a notification in app or an SMS to you. I'd say just to an email. And this is just to let you know. So it's coming from, it's coming from internal, and it's going to you. So you can do particular user or a custom email or an assigned user or all users. I'm just going to do particular. It's going to go to me. All right, and then the subject is contact, full name. It's probably just going to be a first name. Just downloaded. Just requested because they haven't downloaded it yet. The Zapier templates. Okay, and then we have a short email to ourselves here, and we'll just do the same thing. All right, and we'll save that there. That seemed to think it's a link, and it's not. There we go. All right, so we're up to here. So they've been tagged as lead. We've created the opportunity. We've sent them the lead magnet. We've sent ourselves a notification. We want to wait 24 hours. What we really want to do, though, is wait for them to open the email. So what we're going to use a wait step, but we're not going to just do a simple time delay. We want to use an event. Sorry, not an event, an email event. Okay, so on that, we want to do email with lead magnet. The email event is opened, and we're going to do a timeout. So 24 hours. All right, so we're going to save that. So what this will do, it will move forward when they've opened the email or after 24 hours, whichever comes first. So we'll save that. And you can see here, we've got what will happen after 24 hours. For that, we want to send the same email again, just with a different subject line. So I'm going to copy this action, put it in there, and then we're going to change the subject line here. Zap it up. Okay, nothing else has to change. It's the same email. So we're saving that. So if they haven't opened it, this is what happens next. And then we're going to do another wait. And we're going to wait for the same thing. Email with lead magnet. Select email event opened. And we're going to time out after 24 hours again. Right, so we're going to save that there. I'm just going to change this here just so we can differentiate between the two. And now if we check that again, we can see it's email with lead magnet 2. I definitely didn't want it confusing it with this one up the top. So we can see it is using that one. All right, so what we want to do next, when it's opened, we want to do another wait step here because you might have seen before, we're going to wait and we're going to wait for trigger link to be clicked. So the trigger link is the lead magnet link. And we're going to wait another 24 hours for that. No, that's a bit too long. We're going to wait 60 minutes. We're going to wait 1 hour and time out there. So what we're going to do is, if they've clicked the link, let's go back here. If they've clicked the link, we add the tag. If they haven't, we send a follow-up email. Okay, so we're going to add a tag and we're going to call it lead magnet delivered. I'm going to add a new tag there. Right, so let's save this. Now, after 60 minutes, if they haven't, we're going to do another email. And we're going to do a follow-up. Okay, saving that there. Now from here, what we'll do, we're going to add a little function here because we've got our path here of what's going on. So as they're going down the path, if everything goes well, they open it. That's good. And then they've clicked the link within 60 minutes. We add a tag and move on to the next step. But if they don't, we'll send them a follow-up email. That's fine. The other option here is if they get to the second one. Now what we want to do here is create a go-to function because we still want to take this step after here, but we don't need to build it all out again. We can just go up here, right? And then the timeout after 24 hours, if they haven't opened it again, we'll just move on as normal. So after all this happens, we just want to add them into the nurture sequence. So we haven't built it yet, but what we're going to do is we're going to create here a add to workflow function. And we're going to select a workflow. It doesn't exist. Let's just do pipeline lead creation for now. I'll come back and update this later. We'll save that and add them to the nurture sequence from there. So everything's set up here. We're going to put in some more go-to around here. So all roads lead to the nurture sequence. Actually just going to, oh, it won't let me copy that. That's all right. I'll do another one. So no matter which path they take, they end up being added into the email nurture sequence there. Okay, so that's all set up. So it aligns with this, with what we're trying to do here. So it makes sure that once they're in, we're aware of them. They get the lead magnet. We're aware that they've been sent the lead magnet. We create the opportunity, and then we give them some time to download it, and we follow up if they haven't. Because it's very important for us and for them that they receive that value. You've sent them something valuable, they've asked for it. If they don't receive it, if they don't get it, that's not good for them. So this is all in place to set that up, to make sure that they receive that value from you that you've worked so hard to put together and that they've asked for. So moving on, we've got a bit of a summary of what we've covered today. So here's what we've done. We've gone over what is a lead magnet, how does it work? We've gone through building a funnel and landing page, form setup, so how to create the form to actually deliver that lead magnet. Funnel settings and URL setup, so we've done that as well. Everything's all set up. So if we've gone through all of these steps, your landing page should be live, and it should have some SEO information in there as well, and automating delivery. So once they fill in the form, once they opt in for the lead magnet, once they ask for it, they'll get it. And we'll do everything we can to make sure that they get it. So I have some action steps for you. I know we've gone over a lot today, but first action step is take a moment, breathe, relax. I know it's a lot. How are you feeling about all of this? Are you excited? Are you nervous? Are you completely overwhelmed? I feel a little overwhelmed and I'm the one driving. Create your landing page. So use GoHighLevel's pre-built sections to create a professional landing page with strong headline and visuals. Or if you have my snapshot, if you're part of my paid community, you can use that and just tweak it. Hopefully it's a little bit easier. Set up the form. So add a pop-up form triggered by a CTA button to capture lead information. So go through those settings, tweak it, play around with it, test it. Always test. We didn't test the automation just there, but it definitely works. I'll test that offline and make sure it works. Part 2, configure the funnel settings. So set up your URL, SEO metadata, and ensure the page is optimized with the favicon and meta description. We want it all looking really good, looking really nice, really professional, and driving as much traffic to it as possible through organic search engine optimization. Automate delivery. So set up an email workflow to send the lead magnet automatically after the form's submitted. So the one that I've set up is a little complex. If you want to create something simple, that's fine. But this one that I've created, it does have the highest rate of ensuring that they receive that lead magnet. And share your work. So please share your landing page in the community to get feedback and help. I'd love to see it. I'd love to check it out. Everyone else can learn from you as well. You can learn from everyone else. It's best if we all work together. And up next, we have a quote. So if you're good at something, never do it for free unless it's for value. And that's Gary Vaynerchuk, the entrepreneur and CEO of VaynerMedia. You might know him as Gary V. So yeah, there's this thought out there that, you know, never do it for free if you're good at it. But yeah, unless it's for value. If you're delivering value out into the world, you will receive it back. Value first is a great mindset to have. I hope you have it as well. Because it's worth more than money sometimes. Building that goodwill, getting that value out there, putting it out in the world so you will receive it back. That's what I'm doing with this course. So I hope you found it valuable. If you have, please leave a testimonial. Thank you very much. I'd really appreciate it. It helps out a lot. And let's make it happen. Get started, get into it. Let me know how you go. I'll talk to you soon. All right, now you've got your landing page set up and you're ready to convert visitors into leads. In the next video, I'm going to show you how to set up an automated email nurture sequence so you can start turning those leads into clients without lifting a finger. You can click here to check out that video or go back to the full playlist over here. And if you're looking for more in-depth support, join my free Automation for Coaches community on School, links down below. I'll see you in there.